DIY.
I saw this story here on VS Gen, and it included SYMBA. SYMBA is a lyricist. He's been getting so many different cosigns because of his classic lyricist approach. And some of those cosigns are coming from veteran producers who are like, hell yeah, that's what I'm talking about. When I say I want real hip hop to come back, it's folks like SYMBA. But he has an issue that he's actually been in the sessions with some of these producers. Check out what he says.
And that's the issue. A lot of these old producers, listen to me. Y'all talk all this, we want hip hop to come back. And the minute we get in the studio with y'all want $100,000 for a beat. If you want this to come back so bad, why you taxing so much?
With a beat?
One beat. Bro, you'll go spend a weekend with a producer and y'all get like 5 songs. Y'all on the Airbnb kicking it. You talking about life. We done smoked and talked about each other's kids. My son and FaceTime me. I'm like, what's up, man? Woo, woo, woo. All right, man, let's get this music out. I think we should do the video. Next thing you know, it's time to do the business. The label then called, yeah, he wants 80 grand a beat and a point on each. And he wants to own the master. And he... They just ate Popeye's chicken together for a whole 2 days.
Wait, how long does it take to do a beat?
5 minutes.
Wait, 5 minutes, do a beat?
This is a common issue that you hear, or that we've been hearing as of late, of a lot of artists feeling like, regardless of how legendary a producer's name is, their budget is their budget. And because their budgets don't accommodate being able to work with the price of some of these producers, it puts them in a situation where it's like, I need you to work with me, OG. And to give a little bit more context, SYMBA says some more specifics in the comments of this actual clip, because I'm pretty sure a lot of producers got angry. I'm not mad at no producer that's getting paid. Everybody deserves to be paid for their work, especially producers that's great at what they do. I'm saying there's a community of older producers who complain about younger, new artists not wanting to work with them. They say our music sounds microwavable and we're not being produced. But when we go to them for help, they take advantage of us. Is it really about making the music better, or is it about your beats not selling like they used to and you need some money? Another perspective is actually from a friend of mine's, Arrow. You might have heard of him from doing production for Ab-Soul. I believe he did Pineal Gland. He says, the problem is that more than likely SYMBA is hanging out with older, established producers. At that point, that's like going to a Bentley dealership and then complaining about the prices. If you want brand name, they're gonna tax you, especially if they have a deep catalog. That has always been the perspective that I have always been exposed to, is that the reason why these producers with these legendary catalogs, these huge brands and names, charge what they charge because they position themselves just like a luxury vehicle. And if you know anything about the history of luxury vehicles, it doesn't matter what the economy is going through, their prices are not dropping off. The price of a Ferrari is going to be a price of a Ferrari. And so a lot of producers have sort of compared and positioned themselves to be the equivalent of that in music. Only issue I have with that, when you're talking about luxury vehicles, the reason why they don't have commercials is because people with money are not sitting around watching TV like that. Their demographic is likely in different places, adding to those millions and millions of dollars. They don't have a whole lot of leisure time. They're probably workaholics. They're probably folks who are responsible for employing hundreds of people. Now, the flip side of that, when it comes to production, is that you're not just trying to work with people who have an elite amount of money, especially if you're an older producer who is concerned with staying relevant. Here's where the concept of staying relevant backfires, because I think a lot of folks, especially in our culture, are so concerned with what have you done for me lately? Who have you worked with? And when you rely on relevance, there's a necessity for you, even as an OG, to reestablish your dominance. There's a necessity for you to remind people, newer generations, younger generations, this is why I have the name that I have. Michael Jordan surely is not above that. That's why even though he is no longer playing, you still see his shoes, his Jordan brand. There is still a need to reintroduce yourself to a younger audience. Now, if older producers take on that reintroduction and they say, okay, that is a necessity, you can't play that luxury car pricing, especially when the budgets of these artists that are signing, when these budgets have shifted dramatically because the sources of income have shifted dramatically for your target audience of artists who rap a certain way, who want a certain type of sound within their production. It's up to you not to cheapen yourself, but it's up to you to update some of those terms. Would you say that's fair? Regardless of your name, if you're still seeing an emphasis being put on relevancy, you're going to have to readjust. So even though you are a Bentley, you may not necessarily be a Bentley to somebody who doesn't see the value of a Bentley.
Y'all talk all this, we want hip hop to come back. And the minute we get in the studio with y'all want $100,000 for a beat. If you want this to come back so bad, why you taxing so much?
Wait, a beat?
One beat.
I hear where SYMBA's coming from. When you have older producers that are up in arms about the microwavable nature of music, I think sometimes what they don't take into consideration, there's more than just artist choice, rapper choice that affects the sound of music.
Bro, you would go spend a weekend with a producer and y'all get like 5 songs. Y'all on the Airbnb kicking it. You talking about life. We done smoked and talked about each other's kids. My son and FaceTime me. I'm like, what's up, man? Woo, woo, woo. All right, man, let's get this music out. I think we should do the video. Next thing you know, it's time to do the business. The label then called, yeah, he wants 80 grand a beat and a point on each, and he wants to own the master, and he just ate Popeye's chicken together for a whole 2 days.
In a very ironic way, these older producers are sort of playing the same game that labels played with them. Let me invite you into my home. Let's chop it up about life. Let's build up a great rapport. Let's become friends today. But when the business comes, all that friendship shit is out the door. And I am expecting this from you. Now, I don't think that any of us should judge a producer's pricing, but I do think it is a bit contradictory to criticize the state of music, but not adjust to the needs of those who also see it the same way that you do. If they don't have the money, they don't have the money. So are you going to make the decision to hoard your beats and then criticize what's not out there? When I listen to that, I understand the criticism, but I also see that there are probably people out there who see that as a play. Criticize music so much that you think that I am the only person that can save it, and you come to me to pay those prices. And now they're doing the same bait and switch with younger artists.
Talked about each other's kids. My son and FaceTime me. I'm like, what's up, man? Woo, woo, woo. All right, man, let's get this music out. I think we should do the video.
Get you comfortable in my environment, in my presence. Boost up your ego a little bit. Encourage you a whole lot. Give you some gems. Give you some game. Get you high. Give you a little bit of liquor. Get on the phone. Talk to your daughter, talk to your son, talk to your family, take a couple flicks for the Instagram, and then when it's time to actually do the nasty work, it's the labels that call with all of these details. It is the good cop, bad cop switch. So then that way, you can never say it's their fault indirectly. Oh man, that's just the labels being like labels. That is an old and tired game.
Wait, how long does it take to do a beat?
5 minutes.
Wait, 5 minutes do a beat?
I pay you $100,000. I need more than a 5-minute beat. I don't want your 5-minute beats. No, Curtis, what you don't understand is it's not about the length of the beat. It's about the amount of years that they invested to become great enough to make a 5-minute beat. Give a shit. I don't want your 5-minute beat. I want production that doesn't feel like it's an assembly line. I want the same reassurance when I hear you as a producer ranting about the state of music, that when I come into this environment, that you are going to approach it with the same care and attention to detail that I do as a songwriter, that I do as a supporter of hip hop. I want that same reassurance. I don't want your 5-minute beat. Well, maybe that's another reason why folks are choosing to go to the DIYers. I don't know. What are your thoughts? DIYers, if you enjoyed this content, make sure that you hit the like button and maybe even consider subscribing. Come on, man. Don't be greedy. Peace.